Okay, our second question is write a Java program to define a class, describe its constructor, overload constructors, and instantiate its object, and also use static members. Okay, so here our program will be a little bit lengthy if you are trying to incorporate all these in a single program. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to explain it as three different programs so that the students will understand it more better. And later, if you want, we can combine also, not an issue. So since we are just beginning the course, we are doing it as three different programs. So the part A is we are trying to create a constructor for the class and trying to overload, show what is constructor overloading and how to initialize the data members of the class by using constructor overloading. So that is our program A. Java program to define a class, describe its constructor and overload constructor, and thereby initializing the values to the data members. So here we can see every Java program, as we mentioned, will be having a class. So here the class name is student, okay, and it is having data members called name, department, both are of string, ID of integer, and marks of value double. Okay, so here we are going to deal with all these information regarding student, name of the student, department of the student, ID of the student, and marks of the student. Okay, so next we'll see what is a constructor. A constructor is a special method which will be having the same name as that of the class name. So here you can see student open parenthesis, close parenthesis. This is a special method which is having the same name as that of the class. So this is known as the constructor, and here this constructor is not having any parameter, so this is known as the default constructor. Okay, and why we are using constructor is basically to initialize values for the data members. So the default constructor is initializing values like this. So name is given ABC, ID is given 1, department is CSE, marks is 70. These are the values initialized by the default constructor. And now we are going to see what do you mean by constructor overloading. So we can have constructors with parameter, without parameter. So constructor without parameter is known as the default constructor. Next we are going to see constructor with parameter. So this is a constructor which is having all the 4 parameters, which is taking all the data members of this class student, and it is assigning some values for this data members. Next we can see a third constructor which is taking a single parameter, and the parameter is something special. It is taking the object of the class, that is student st. St is the reference variable of type student. Okay, so what is constructor overloading is overloading a method means it will be having same name, but it will keep on changing the parameters. So one way can be default, using default parameter, without any parameters, default constructor, or with 2 parameters, 3 parameters, like that we can change the number of parameters and type of parameters, thereby doing the overloading. So here we have used 3 types of constructor: default constructor, parameterized constructor which is taking 4 parameters, and another parameterized constructor which is taking a special parameter, that is the object of the class student or reference variable of class student. Okay, now this class is having, so the class student is having 3 parameters which are overloaded, and it is taking a method, using a method display, which is displaying the values of these data members. Now let's move on to the main method, from where the program execution starts. So in this main method, you can see we have created 3 instances of the class student. So S1 is the first instance, S2 is the second instance, S3 is the third instance of the class student. So we are basically dealing with 3 different students. So the first student, how it is going to initialize its value is using the default constructor student. Okay, so default constructor is invoked here. The control will go to the default constructor, and the first student is getting name as ABC and ID as 1, department as CSE, and marks as 70. So that is the first student information. Then using the display method, we are displaying the information of the first student. So if you want to use any method inside a class, we have to use the reference variable. Which student we are trying to display? We are trying to display the student S1, right? So use it like S1 dot display. Okay, so the student S1's information will be displayed here. So name, ID in this order, name, ID, department, marks. Okay, now we are trying to create another instance of the class, and we are naming that instance as S2. So S2 we can say it is a reference variable, or we are referring that object new instance of the class by using the variable S2. So here we are trying to use parameterized constructor. So all the 4 data members of the class is given value by passing it as argument. So second student will be having name John and ID 2, department CSE, and mark 78. So when this line is executed, the control will go to the parameterized constructor, which is having 4 equal number of parameters. So 4 parameters. So, and it is assigning the name is stored in N. It will be assigned to the variable name, and ID is 2. It is assigned to variable ID. Department is CSE, that is assigned to variable department, and marks is 78, that will be stored in the which is copied in M, that will be stored in the data member marks. Okay, so thus we have initialized information to the second student as these by using parameterized constructor, and we are trying to display using the same display method. So here we are passing the values of second student, so S2 dot display. Next we have created the instance of third student, and you can see the parameter of the third student constructor, that is it is taking a single parameter, and that parameter is a special parameter. It is referring to the object of the student S2. Okay, so here we are trying to copy the information of student S2 to S3. So student, so this it will, the control will go to the parameterized constructor, which is taking object as the parameter. So here we have declared like student ST. So student ST, if you write like this, it will be currently pointing to null value. And once this line is executed, whatever is the values which is pointed by S2, that will be copied to ST. So if you want to have the name of the student, we should access it like st.name. So st.name will be similar to s2.name. So what is the name of the second student? John. Okay, so John will be copied to name. Then what is the ID of John? 2. So st.id will be having value 2, that will be stored in ID. Then st.department will be pointing to the department of a second student itself. So that is CSE, that will be stored here. And st.marks will be pointing to the second student's marks, that is 78. 78 will be stored here. So here we can see the third student is taking the same or copying the same instance of the second student. So both second student and third student will be having the same values. So we are displaying the information of the third student using s3.display. Now we can see the output. So this is the output we have given. So first student is having all these values, second student and third student are having the same values. Now let's try to execute this program and see how it is executed. So in order to execute a program in Eclipse, what you have to do is, if you want to start from beginning, we can create a new Java project. Okay, you can type project name here, for example, project say lab, project lab. Okay, so click finish. So you can see a project lab getting created here. You can see the project lab getting created here. Now you can double click and see, or I'll show a lab program which is also a project here. So if you double click, so your program will be, your lab program will be like this. If you double click, you can see the SRC. So inside SRC, you can double click on SRC, create new class, and you can give a class name here. Okay, so you can give a class name here. So create new class. So we are going to give this as say student, whatever name, student info. give finish. So student info will be created here. Okay, so now our program was the program name used here is student. So I'm trying to copy this program. I'm copying this program. And pasting it here inside student. So because my class name is student, I am trying to copy it here only in student. Okay, so now how to execute this program? How to execute this program is either you can right click on student and run as Java application. That is one way. Another way is to click the run button here. So we are trying to execute this program student. Okay, so you can see the output of this program. So first student information is printed, second student information is printed using so first student information is using default constructor, second student is using parameterized constructor, third student is using the same instance of is copying the instance from the second student. So that's how to execute this program. Now the second part of this program is, that is program 2b, is we are trying to use methods called methods for setting and retrieving values of this student. So here the same class we have reused. So we have class student with all the 4 data members, and we are in addition we have used a method called set data. So set data, the purpose of using set data is to assign values to this member variables. So in the previous program, we used constructors for initializing values of this class. Here we are using set data method to initialize or assign values for the members of this class. Okay, so set data is taking, method is taking 4 parameters, which are the 4 data members of this class student. Now we are using the same display method in order to display the values. So how to call this set data method? So we will come to the main method, and we are creating an instance of a student, and that instance, the object dot set data, and here we are passing, just like we passed parameters to the constructor. Instead of passing parameters to the through the constructor, we are passing through the method called set data. So these values are passed to the method set data. The data is invoked. It is not returning any value. It is just taking 4 arguments, and all the 4 argument values are stored in the corresponding data members. And once it is done, we are calling display method using s1.display. So it is displaying the values of those data members. So here you can see the output will be whatever we have given. So how to execute this program? Again, copy this program. So this program is also having the name student. So what we can do is we can't have the same class names for 2 different programs. So I'm replacing this program with the new program. Okay, now I am executing this program. So what is the expected output? We are trying to use a method called set data in order to initialize the values for these data members instead of using constructors. So set data is the method and displays the method for getting the values. So if you run, you can see the output. Whatever value is assigned as arguments, it is displaying the output. Okay. Next part is we have to write a Java program to define class, describe its constructor, overload the constructor, instantiate its object, and also use static members. So this is covering most of the aim of our program 2, Java program 2. So here we have to make use of static members. Okay, that is the additional information which is included here. So you can see the class name of student itself, it is having data members as roll number, name of the student, and here we have a special member of to this class, that is a static member, the keyword static is used, and the name of the member is college, and we have initialized it as engineering. The value is engineering. So the what is the speciality of static member is that as we told, if you are creating three different instances for the class, so these are the so student S1, student S2, student S3 are three different instances of the class student, right? So when we are trying to create three different instances, we can have three different values for all these uh, instance variables. But when it comes to static variable, all whatever, how much ever instances we create, all these instances will have a common view of this static variable. So static variable acts like a global variable. It is not separate for, or we cannot have individual static variables for each instance. All the uh, all the different instances will be having a common view of this static variable. So it acts like a global variable. So if one class is trying to change the value of this static variable, all the other, sorry, if one instance or one student is trying to change the value of the static variable, other students will be also able to see the change of that value. So that is the speciality of static variable. So if you want to have something in common, which all the instance should be able to see, then we can make use of static variable. And here we have used static method. So static variables can be changed only within the static method. So here we have used a method called change, and it's we have mentioned it as static method by using the static keyword. So this method change is a static method, and what we are trying to do here is to change the value of college to NHC. So now, once this method is called, the value, the data member college will be getting the value NHC rather than engineering. Okay, so static variables can be changed only within a static method. So we are using a method change, which is of type static, to change the value of college, static member college. Now let's see the main method. So here we have test static method is the name of our class, okay, where the main method is. So this is the driver class, and here we have one more class student. So in total in this program we are having two classes, student and test static method. So we should save the program where the main method is. So we should save the program as test static method. Okay. Now in the main method, what we are trying to do is we are trying to change, we are trying to call the method change. So how we can call the method change? So all the static members, one more point is regarding static members, we doesn't require any object creation. So static members can be accessed directly without waiting for creating the objects. So here we have tried to access the static method change, and we have not created any objects for this class. How will you create object of this class? We should write this line, right? The class name, the object, the reference variable equals new class name, whether we can use parameter or without parameter. So that is how you'll create instance of the class or object of the class. But here we have tried to call change, the method change, by directly using the class name. So that is the speciality of static methods and static variables. We doesn't need objects for accessing them. So we can directly use the class name dot the method name. So when this method is invoked, so control will come here. The college, the value of the college is changed to NHC. It was engineering, it is now changed to NHC. Now we are creating three instances of the class, that is S1, S2, S3, and we are giving three different values. So all these are the parameterized constructors which are taking two parameters. We are having only two other member variables, roll number and name. So we are passing roll number and name here. Then we are calling the display method using those reference variables S1, S2, S3. So S1 dot display will display the information of first student. So college name should be NHCE. We changed it to NHCE. And S2 dot display will display the information of students, second student, with college as NHCE itself. S3 dot display will display student information, third student information, with the college as student and corresponding USN or roll number and name. So this will be the output. So you can see the college name as NHCE for all the 3 instances. The reason is that all 3 are using the static variable, which is having the common view for all the instance. And we have changed it to, rather than engineering, we changed it to NHCE using the change method by invoking change method. So that is this program. Now let's try to let's try to copy this program. So we have to use this class name as test static method. So src new class. So this is our class. Then we are trying to copy this program. And we'll execute. Okay, I think there is a program already named static method. So in that case, what we should do, we should change the name to static. Let me change it to method 1. So how to change name here? Can change to method 1. Okay. Okay, student is also defined. So we are trying to change. In such scenarios, we should change the name to another name. So if student 1 is already there, it will again show us error. So you have to do it. Okay. Okay, so I've changed it to student 1, and everywhere you should change to student 1, so that here also we should change. So once that class name is changed, we can execute the program. Click execute run button here. You can see the output. So this is how you'll execute. So here we have introduced the concept of static member and static method.